Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon, and we're doing the second in our series of armor videos based on a very strange and convoluted set of rules that we set for ourselves. We've already done light armor, which was mostly stuff that's very well suited for magic users in the game. Today we're moving on to medium armor, so this one is going to be based on the armor value like that one was, and these ones will all fall between the 93 and 99 total armor, so these will not be over the 100 armor value line, which will be, the tanky heavy armor class. So for medium armor, these are suited for pretty much anything. You can use these with the right relics and jewelry and other such enchantment things to make you better at it. You could use them for magic. You could also use them for any sort of hybrid light archer type of build, or you could do them for a high agility, focusing mostly on movement and parrying combat build, not as much tanking hits. But with that being said, we're going to follow the same process as we did in our light armor video. All of these are going to be upgraded to plus 16. All of them have their weight reduced down to 0. Both of those things, using the armor crafting and upgrade system that exists in the game. Whenever possible, we will use all matching parts. If we are missing matching parts, we will substitute with other parts that are also blue quality. These suits are just all blue quality, so if you want to see some of the white quality suits that you can make in this game, there are some pretty cool ones. Let me know down in the comment section. That can be a separate video. Today it's just the blue quality ones, and we will discuss things like armor value and of course the enchantments that they come with, so you can try to decide what type of playstyle you like each set for. But with all that being said, let's start off at the bottom one. We're going to be looking at 6 suits of armor today, so we'll start off with number 6. And number 6 is what I'm calling the hunting armor. So this one is not a full matching suit, but it does have 2 pieces that match together really well. And I like the appearance of it, and I like the way that it works if you want to be a hunter/archer. So the 2 pieces that match together in this suit are the hunting jacket, which has 18 armor, and the perk of reducing the stamina cost of bows by 15%. And then the hunting trousers, which have 19 armor, and decrease the stamina cost of dashes while a bow is equipped by 5. So both of those, you can tell, are archery themed ones, so we wanted to kind of stick with that vibe for a light archer skirmisher type for this suit of armor. And so that's why for the 3 pieces that we filled in, we started with the Traveler's Boots, because they look good with the suit, and of course they have 19 armor, and they increase movement speed multiplier by 10% when not in combat, which is also always useful, when you're trekking around the map. For the head armor, we did the Looter's Mask, because I think it looks good with it, and it also makes sense to pair it with it. It has 17 armor and increases critical chance by 3%, so that's useful considering a lot of the shots you take as an archer are sneaking, and you're going for that first hit critical, so having that extra 3% is pretty good there. And then, of course, the Archer's Quicken Gloves, which are very useful for this type of build. They have 20 armor, and they increase your bow draw speed by 10%. So all in all, this suit is a pretty solid suit of medium armor, very suitable for hunting or being a skirmisher type archer who stays on the move and tries to pick off your enemies from a distance. As far as how and where to get these items, other than the Traveler's items, which are just the boots here, which you can get here at the Horns of the South from the female trader near the front gate. The rest of them are fairly random. The Looter's Mask is extremely common. You get that on all sorts of bandits that you'll kill throughout the map. The Archer's Quicken Gloves are unique. I believe I got them from a corpse on the beach, but I could not be quoted on that, so I can't give you an exact location on them. And the same goes for these hunting jacket and the hunting trousers. I'm not sure where I looted those, but I know I looted them off someone. So this one is probably going to be the least specific one we do today, because I offhand do not have set locations to give you any of these, except for, like I said, the Traveler's Boot. So with that being said, that is number 6, the hunting armor, which has 93 armor value. Let's move on to number 5. All right, then coming in at number 5, we've got a similar suit, at least in sort of general use, but this one is the Traveler's Armor. So we've used pieces of this in other suits, both in the light armor video and the boots in the previous suit in this video. This one, however, pretty much matches entirely, other than, well, 2 pieces. At least it has 3 matching pieces. I'm getting ahead of myself. So this one is made up of the Traveler's Robe, which has 19 armor and increases movement speed multiplier by 10% when not in combat. The Traveler's Pants, which have 18 armor and increase movement speed multiplier by 5% when not in combat. And the Traveler's Boots, which have 19 armor and increase movement speed multiplier by 10% when not in combat. So when you combine that, that is 25% movement speed multiplier when not in combat. So you can definitely move a lot faster when you're wearing this, as long as you're not trying to fight. Then the other slots that we filled in are the Looter's Mask, which has 17 armor and increases your critical chance by 3%, and the Archer's Quicken Gloves, which increase bow draw speed by 10% and have 20 armor. So the reason I chose those is because this is another one that I consider a light skirmisher type, so pretty suitable for medium armor. You could engage in melee or ranged combat, but this one would deal most, or the best I would say, with ranged combat and just staying out of the fight, given the fact that, you know, you can move pretty quick in this suit of armor as long as you stay out of combat. And I chose the Looter's Mask and the Archer's Quickening Gloves to go with it just because they look really good with it, and the skills that, or the bonuses that they have fit in line with what I view this suit as appropriate use-wise. So again, as far as getting your hands on the items for this one, the 3 Traveler's items I can show you. So we're right by the front gate of the Horns of the South, and if you go to your right here and talk to Orlaith, you just go into the shop and you can purchase them from here. So the boots are going to be 600 gold, the robe is 600 gold, and the pants are 400 gold. So you can purchase all 3 of those from her. So that's how you get your hands on the Traveler's Armor. And then, like I've said, I cannot remember where the Archer's Quickening Gloves are obtainable from, but the Looter's Mask is an extremely common piece of loot in the game. So that is number 5. Let's move on to number 4. All right, coming in at number 4, we have Broc Meala's Armor, which has a total armor rating of 93, like the other 2 that we've looked at so far in this video. This one is very unique in appearance and is probably the only one on this whole list that I would say is more suited for, I mean, it can be used for anything, as all medium armor can, but I would say out of all the ones on this list, it's the most well suited to magic use. But as far as the items that make up this one, it's almost entirely all matching. So we have Broc Meala's Headwear, which has 19 armor and increases your max mana by 10. Broc Meala's Robe, which has 19 armor and increases your max mana by 10. Broc Meala's Boots, which have 18 armor and increase your max mana by 5. And Broc Meala's Gloves, which have 17 armor and increase your max mana by 5. So all of those ones just give you more max mana. So like I said, it is more well suited towards magic than anything else, despite the fact that it has halfway decent armor value. The only item that doesn't match is the breeches. So we have the Rogue's Step equipped because they give you an additional 30% dash speed increase and 20 armor. So really you could put any pants you want to match the set, but I think those ones match relatively well, and it gave me an excuse to use them. So that is Broc Meala set. As far as getting your hands on this one, it will be a bunch of different quest rewards, or at least one of the items is. I think the rest of them you actually just get off of Broc Meala. So if you want to do this, you head all the way to the north of this section of the map, up to the travel point that says Broc Meala, and you'll go through, and it's basically a weird dark fantasy Candyman Bee type quest line where you have to go through and prove your loyalty. And the first thing you do to prove your loyalty to the Bee Queen is go kill a guy right by this bridge here, and he will have most of these items on him. Then you can continue to do missions for her where you give her cobwebs, and she really likes that. So it's a weird quest line, but it definitely rewards you with this unique suit of armor. So if you want to get your hands on the Broc Meala set, that is how you do it. But that is number 4. Let's move on to number 3. So at number 3, we have the Corpse Eater set, which you can see looks pretty stupid, but it has pretty good stats and bonuses. So this one is, there are only 2 matching pieces on this one, and we filled in the rest. The 2 matching pieces are the Corpse Eater's Cap, which has 18 armor and increases your attack speed by 5%. Then the Corpse Eater's Rags, which have 19.5 armor and increase your attack speed by 10%. The Traveler's Pants we threw in there, which have 18 armor and increase movement speed multiplier by 5% when not in combat, along with the Traveler's Boots, which have 19 armor and increase movement speed multiplier by 10% when not in combat. And then we went with the Keeper's Gloves, since they also increase your attack speed, this time by 10%, and have 20 armor. So stylistically, maybe they don't match with it, or thematically, but bonus-wise they do, which is why I ended up going with the Keeper's Gloves here. I typically don't do that in these videos because the Keeper's Gloves belong to their own set, but I think it works with this one and helps you have really, really high attack speed, which is fun. So that is the Corpse Eater's Cap and Rags, or the Corpse Eater's Armor, I should say. As far as getting your hands on this set, the 2 matching pieces that belong to the Corpse Eater set can be crafted, and right here in the Horns of the South, there's a ghost, it's weird. Right here in the Horns of the South, you'll be able to come and talk to Osbert, and he will give you missions to craft things for him, and the very first one is to craft the Corpse Eater's Armor. So you'll go to the Grindstone, go to Handcrafting, and then you'll see they are right here. The Corpse Eater's Cap requires 2 iron ore, 3 leather, and 1 monster brain, and the Corpse Eater's Rags requires 8 iron ore, 4 leather, and 2 monster brains. So fairly simple crafting resources to get your hands on, and once you have those, you can upgrade them using the upgrading system, and attach relic slots to them using that system, and reduce their armor weight using that system. And that is how you will get your hands on the Corpse Eater Armor. So that's number 3. Let's move on to our runner-up at number 2. All right, so our runner-up at number 2 is this kind of Call of Duty Ghosts looking hybrid fantasy Del Riata type armor, and it's called the Revenant's Armor. So this one has a total armor value of 97, which is just a little bit higher than the Corpse Eater's 94.5, and it is our runner-up for this one. So only 2 of these pieces actually match the set, and I'll show you how to craft them because they are craftable ones, but they are the Revenant's Cowl, which has 20 armor, increases your melee damage by 10%, and increases weak spot damage by 10%, and the Revenant's Ribcage, which has 22 armor, increases melee damage by 20%, and increases weak spot damage by 20%. The other pieces that make up this set, or at least that I've chose to make up the set with, are the Traveler's Pants at 18 armor, and the Traveler's Boots at 19 armor. So both of those give you an increased movement speed multiplier when not in combat. And then of course the Parrying Gauntlets, which I think look very cool with it and match it thematically. So these have 18 armor and they enhance your parrying window. So this one makes a very good suit of light, or I should say medium armor for melee use. As far as crafting them, it's going to be just like the last suit. You're going to do it here in the Horns of the South. All you have to do is talk to Osbert and, work through his different crafting missions, and then you'll be able to craft them. So there, like I said, are only 2. The Revenant's Cowl requires a skull, 4 bones, and 2 pieces of iron ore, and the Revenant's Ribcage requires 2 skulls, 6 bones, and 5 pieces of iron ore to craft. And then, of course, you can upgrade them, attach relic slots, and reduce their weight using the following, system. But that is how you get your hands on the pieces for the Revenant's Armor. Like I said, the Traveler's ones that you use in conjunction with this, you can purchase from the trader standing right down where I'm pointing. That is number 2, the Revenant's Armor. Let's move on to number 1. And our number 1 best suit of medium armor in the game is the Assassin's Armor. I love this one for multiple reasons, one of which being it looks very cool, 2 of which, or the second of which, is it has some pretty great stealth stats, which I love for being a stealth archer, which is what I primarily use medium armor for in this game. And of course, it also just has really good stats across the board. So this one has the same stats as the Revenant's Armor, having a total armor value of 97. This one is made up of a full matching set, which is exciting. It's made up of the Assassin's Mask, which has 19 armor and increases your sneak damage by 5%. The Assassin's Tunic, which has 20 armor and increases sneak damage by 10%. The Assassin's Trousers, which have 20 armor and increase sneak damage by 5%. The Assassin's Boots, which have 19 armor and increase your sneak damage by 5%. And the Assassin's Gloves, which have 19 armor and increase your sneak damage by 5%, giving you a total of 30% increased sneak damage when wearing the full set, which is pretty cool. And of course, as always with all of the ones we've looked at, we've reduced the weight down to 0 and upgraded them to plus 16 and added relic slots. So you could make the suit even more overpowered by adding relics to all of these pieces. So I like the way this one looks, and stat-wise, like I said, I think it's the best, especially for a stealth archer build, which, everybody wants. As far as getting your hands on this one, it can be obtained by doing a quest that you can actually get relatively early in the game. When you get to the Horns of the South, you will find a bulletin board basically right in front of the front gate, and I'll show you where that is. And on it, you can just pick up a paper, which will give you the ability to do a bounty mission. And I believe this one is for Silent Cilia. I, of course, just do all of the bounties as quick as possible. It's the first thing I do in the game because A, they're fun, and B, you can get some pretty cool loot from doing them. But all you got to do is go kill Silent Cilia, and you'll get your hands on, I believe, a unique dagger, as well as this entire suit of armor. And like I said, that's right here, so we're in the Horns of the South. Once you've come in the front gate, which we are looking at right now, all you have to do is turn around or come right through it and come over to this bulletin board where several pieces of paper will be sitting there. All you do is take them, and you can even talk to this guy, who is the guy that will reward you for doing all of those missions. And like I said, the Silent Cilia one should be the one that gets you the Assassin's Armor, which is the best medium armor in this game. So, or at least the best that I've found so far. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I plan to do one more video in this series, so following these same rules, just for heavy armor. I've already done light armor, and like I said, we can do lots of other stuff. If you want to see it, definitely let me know down in the comment section below. But in any case, thanks for watching, and have a nice day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.